One thing I have learned, making money is not the same as building wealth. I've seen entrepreneurs making seven figures who are still stressed, over leveraged, and unsure about their future because they never learned the order of wealth building. So today, I'm going to show you what I call the optimal order of investing for business owners. It's a clear strategic framework that helps you go from income to freedom. There are 6 investing stages. Each one builds stability and momentum, and it sets the stage for the next. If you skip ahead, you risk financial instability. But if you follow the right order, your wealth starts to work for you. I'm John Rojas, certified financial planner and founder of Tribox Private Wealth. I've helped business owners grow, protect, and pass on their wealth for nearly 3 decades now. Doesn't seem like it's been that long. It seems like it was just yesterday. So let's get started. Stage number 1, emergency liquidity. We're talking 3 to 6 months of personal and business expenses set aside in liquid cash. This is not a HELOC. This is not credit card access that you have. This is 3 to 6 months of actual liquid cash set aside, earning somewhere between 3.5% and 4.2% in interest that you have readily available to deploy in the event that you need it. And it matters because when things slow down or break down, you don't want to be sitting there cash strapped. This liquidity is actually your shock absorber, and it gives you the freedom that you need to move when things get a little unstable and uncertain for you. You want it paying you some type of interest. You don't want to just let it sit there earning nothing. You want to put it in some type of high yield savings account where you can actually make money on it. One of the common mistakes that I see is thinking your line of credit counts as emergency cash. It doesn't. Banks can cut it or call it at any time. Peace of mind starts with knowing you're covered no matter what. Stage number 2, we call this foundational protection. Risk management and legal structures before any real investing begins is utmost of importance. All the investing in the world means nothing if you're one lawsuit or one diagnosis away from losing everything that you've built. What do you want to look at first? Your corporate structure, LLC, S Corp structures with separation of liability. You want to look at your liability, your disability, and your life insurance. You want to take a look at your estate planning, your wills, your trust, your power of attorneys, your healthcare directives. So many people I work with, when I ask them to review their estate planning, they look at me and have to admit that they never put it in place. One of the biggest myths that I see them face is that won't happen to me. You don't need protection until you really need it. And do you want to need it and not have it? So protection is not fear-based. It's a freedom-based decision. It's knowing your family, your business, and your wealth are secure when things go awry. Moving on to stage number 3. Tax advantage accounts. So what is this? We're talking strategic use of retirement and health accounts to reduce your taxes and start building wealth. Top tools to use here are solo 401ks, SEP IRAs, defined benefit plans for those high earners, health savings accounts. It matters because these accounts give you upfront tax breaks, long-term growth, and they structure discipline. And tax strategies is often the biggest lever in building wealth. So tax planning isn't just for luxury, it's also a secret return on investment. The goal isn't just to make more money, it's to keep more of what you make, and taking advantage of those tax advantage accounts help in a big way. Step number 4, business reinvestments. So what is this? Reinvesting into your core business with intention, not desperation. Some of the best investments you can make, team and leadership hires, revenue producing systems. We're talking leads, we're talking marketing, we're talking about operations, delegation of infrastructure to buy back your time. This matters so much in businesses because your business is still your number 1 wealth building engine. It's the wealth machine, but only if you're growing without consuming every dollar you earn. Traps to avoid: pouring every dime back into the business while neglecting your personal wealth, your personal protection, or your liquidity. I see so many business owners do that, and when the business fails, their personal life fails as well. We want to try to start taking money out of the business and starting to build your personal wealth, so at some point, they can operate as 2 separate entities, and if one goes down, the other one can still survive. So use business reinvestments to scale your leverage, not just your workload. Stage number 5, alternative income producing assets. So what is this? It's investing outside of your business into assets that generate passive cash flow. Top options are real estate, multifamily homes, private equity or lending, cash value life insurance, and also income producing funds such as REITs or some type of investment that pays you a really nice dividend or has some potential for appreciation. Your wealth should continue growing even when you're not working. These assets create freedom and the optionality that you seek later on in retirement. Diversification isn't just a Wall Street concept. It's an entrepreneur safety net. You can have diversification by having money in your business, having that as a wealth building machine, taking money out, buying some real estate, having some hard assets, doing a SEP IRA or 401k, having some money invested in the stock market. So those are three different ways that you can diversify as a business owner. A lot of people think of diversification, they think just in terms of investments, owning a stock, a bond, hard asset like gold and things like that. But there's other ways to diversify your wealth as well outside of just Wall Street. Stage number 6, legacy and wealth transfer. So here we're really talking about turning your wealth into a long-term legacy, one that's going to outlive you. Here we're going to look at trust-based estate planning. We're going to look at gifting or charitable strategies if you're into donating to a special cause. We're going to look at business succession and continuation planning. We're also going to look at tax-smart transfer tactics. Why does that matter? The final measure of the wealth that you've made is not what you earn. It's what you're going to leave in assets and values and an impact after you've gone and after Uncle Sam's had his way with tax implications of making those transfers. So legacy isn't about being rich. It's about being remembered for doing it the right way. So let's recap the full optimal order of investing for business owners. Number 1 was emergency liquidity, then foundational protection, then tax advantage accounts, then business reinvestments, and then income producing alternatives, and finally, legacy and wealth transfer. This is the roadmap I use with my clients. Not every shiny opportunity, not every hot trend, just the order that builds durable, protected, multi-generational wealth. If you're making good money, but feel like your wealth isn't aligned, isn't protected, or growing like it should, let's fix that. I'm opening up a few strategy calls this month for business owners who want clarity, control, and a proven roadmap. We'll look at where you are today, how you're investing, the investing order that you have. We'll identify the biggest risks or inefficiencies, and we'll create something custom for you built around what you're looking to accomplish. It's a real conversation about your future. You've hit every goal. You built the business. You made the money, achieved what others call success. So why do you wake up some mornings asking yourself, is this it? If you're a successful business owner feeling stuck despite everything you've accomplished, this video will either confirm your worst fears or it will set you free. Let me tell you about Michael. Sold his tech company for $15 million at age 58. Everything he'd worked 25 years to achieve. 6 months later, he's sitting in his paid off house, looking at his investment statements and feeling nothing. Empty, like he'd climbed the wrong mountain. Or Jennifer built a law firm from nothing to 50 employees, financial security beyond her wildest dreams. But she can't remember the last time she felt excited about Monday morning. What do Michael and Jennifer have in common? They achieved everything that they thought they wanted and discovered it wasn't what they actually needed. Sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, you're not broken, you're not ungrateful, you're just a human. I've sat in rooms with some of the most powerful, successful men you could imagine. CEOs, surgeons, entrepreneurs, worth tens of millions. And you know what we talked about? The emptiness that comes when everything is working well, when you've made it beyond belief. That ungrateful, empty feeling inside, and the shame that comes with feeling that way. I remember one time, Dr. David, brilliant surgeon, built multi-medical practices, was speaking about the struggles with his identity. And I asked him something that stopped the whole room. I said, David, who is David without the doctor label in front of him? I went on to say, to me, you're David, my friend, my brother, not Dr. David. You've always been David, but to you, you are Dr. David. So I'm asking you, who do you become when you decide to no longer be a doctor? The room went silent. This incredibly successful man, someone others looked up to, had never separated his identity from his title. Most people watching this video won't get the opportunity to sit in these rooms. So I want you to know you're not alone. And there is a plan of action that can help you. What I've learned from these conversations is that this feeling isn't a character flaw. It's actually a signal that you're ready for something deeper, something more meaningful. So let me explain why this happens to so many successful business owners. Let's talk about the achievement addiction. For decades, you've been driven by goals. Hit $1 million in revenue, hire 10 employees, sell for $5 million, buy the house, fund the retirement accounts. The dopamine hit, every goal achieved gives you a rush, sense of progress, validation that you were moving in the right direction. But what happens when you've hit all of the goals? When the scorecard doesn't matter anymore because you've already won? That's when the silence gets loud. That's when you realize you spent so much time achieving that you forgot to ask yourself, what do you actually want? That sets up number 2, the identity crisis. For most of your adult life, your identity has tied to your business. You weren't just running a company, you were the company. But when you sell or you step back or even just achieve financial independence, a terrifying question emerged. Who am I when I'm not the CEO? I had a client who built a $50 million construction company. After selling it, he told me for 30 years, I introduced myself as the founder of XYZ Corporation. Now I'm just what? A rich guy who plays golf? This is when successful people start searching for meaning beyond money, and it's actually the beginning of their most important chapter. But here's what happens to the people who ignore this feeling, who push it down and try to just be grateful for what they have. They become observers of their own lives instead of active participants. They're present but not engaged, wealthy but not fulfilled. Their marriages suffer because they can't articulate what's wrong. Their spouse sees them withdrawing, becoming distant, losing spark that made them successful in the first place. Some develop what I call success depression. They have everything they need, but nothing they want. It shows up as fatigue, irritability, loss of motivation, and the saddest part, they have the resources to do anything, go anywhere, help anyone, but they're paralyzed by their own abundance. What they don't realize is that this chapter, when you have financial security and experience, could be the most impactful of their entire lives. This is when you can start businesses for passion, not survival, support causes that matter, mentor the next generation, travel meaningfully, create art, build something lasting. But most people waste the opportunity because they're afraid to ask the hard question. So let me ask you the question that changed everything. Question number 1, what would you do if money wasn't a factor? Not what would you buy, what would you do? What problems would you solve? What would you create? Who would you help? Michael, our tech entrepreneur, realized he'd always wanted to teach, not because he needed the money, but because he loved watching people have breakthrough moments. He's now a professor at a local university mentoring young entrepreneurs. He makes $80,000 a year, and he's never been happier. Question number 2, what legacy do you actually want to leave? Beyond money, beyond assets, what do you want to say? What do you want people to say about how you lived? What impact do you want to actually have? Jennifer realized that building a law firm wasn't her legacy. Helping other women start businesses was. She sold the firm and now runs a nonprofit that's funded 200 plus female entrepreneurs. She went from dreading Mondays to counting down the days until she could get back to work and back at it. Question number 3, what would you allow yourself to dream? Here's the question that stops people in their tracks. If you could do anything you wanted, and I mean anything, with your full support of your family or friends, no judgment, no shame, what would it be? What's the thing you've thought about but never said out loud? What's the dream you've dismissed as unrealistic or irresponsible because it doesn't fit the image of a serious business person? You know what? I'll go first. For me, I dream of buying a farm in Costa Rica and dying an old rancher, taking care of my family, working the land, running a wealth and personal development retreats for other successful people who are searching for meaning. Another part of it is I dream about, on that same property, having a skate park where I have kids come in and old guys like me and learn how to surf skate so that they can prove their skills in the water. Drop in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you'd allow yourself to dream if there were no barriers. Because here's what I've learned. They're usually pointing towards your true purpose. And with the financial foundation you've built, most of them are probably more possible than you actually think. Question number 4, what would you regret not trying? You have maybe 20, 30 productive years left. What would you regret not attempting? What dreams have you deferred? This isn't a midlife crisis. This is intentional living. You've earned the right to choose purpose over profit. Here's what most people don't realize. True financial planning isn't just about enough money to retire. It's about having enough money to choose. When your basic needs are covered by passive income investments, real estate, Social Security, everything else becomes choice, not necessity. If your passive income covers $8,000 to $10,000 worth of your monthly expenses, you can afford to take risk. You can start a nonprofit, you can invest in startups, you can work with passion instead of paychecks. This is when money becomes a tool for impact instead of just accumulation. This sophisticated approach is what I call the two-track planning. Track 1 secures the foundation. Track 2 starts funding your purpose. Track 1 is about conservative investments. It's about guaranteed income. It's about basic lifestyle coverage. This gives you the peace of mind. And track number 2, this is where we take capital and we risk capital for meaningful ventures, philanthropic passion projects that give you purpose. I have a client who keeps $3 million in conservative investments for security and $2 million in what he calls his legacy fund. Investments in clean energy, startups, these things align with his values. How do you actually design your next chapter? So here's a framework I use with clients. Number 1, the life audit. Take an honest inventory. What parts of your current life energize you? What parts are draining you? What would you keep if you could design from scratch? And then number 2, the vision session. Imagine you're 85 looking back on your life. What would make you proud? What would make you feel like you used your gifts fully? And number 3, the financial feasibility study. This is where financial planning becomes life planning. We actually calculate exactly what your freedom number is, the amount of passive income you need to pursue your purpose without financial stress. Most successful business owners already have this number. They just haven't done the math to realize it. When you align your financial resources with your actual purpose, everything changes. You stop apologizing for the success and you start leveraging it for impact. You stop accumulating for accumulation's sake and start building something meaningful. You wake up excited about your days because you're choosing them intentionally. Your relationships, they improve because you're engaged, not just present. Your health improves because you have reason to take care of yourself. You become the person your past self was working hard to support. If this resonates with you at all, if you're financially successful but you're feeling stuck about what comes next, you are not alone. And you don't have to figure this out alone. The transition from achievement mode to fulfillment mode is actually a skill, and it can be planned for just like any other major life transition. I help successful business owners design their next chapter, not just financially, but purposefully. If you're ready to explore what might come next, and you want to have a conversation about aligning your resources with your purpose, I'd love to chat. Honestly, starting these conversations is what I enjoy most about what I do. You never know where they're going to lead or what they're going to uncover. Book some time with me, pour a cup of coffee, I got mine here. We'll jump on a Zoom and let's just discuss what's on your mind. No agenda, no pressure, just an honest conversation about what's possible for your next chapter. Click the link in the description below, find the time that works, and let's see what we can discover together. Remember Michael? He thought success meant accumulating. Now he knows it means contributing. Don't waste your next chapters wondering what if. Use it to discover what's possible. You've built the foundation, now let's build the legacy. Hit the subscribe button for more content about turning financial success into financial fulfillment, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.